Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in. So today I'll be using some resistance bands, these open-ended ones with handles. Without handles are okay as well, to show you a lot of exercises for the upper body. Okay, so what you're gonna need, you can just stay at home. Try to find some things you guys can hook your resistance bands to, such as like doorknobs or heavy tables, or you can use the legs of chairs, but put some weight on the chairs to make sure that it's stable. You don't want to be pulling on anything and it's going to be falling on you. So let's start with our shoulders. So the first exercise we can do, as many of you guys know, we can do side raises, right? So what I like about side raises is that it works most of the middle and the front shoulders, and it's very common exercise. So what we want to do is have the elbow slightly bent, and you want to raise up like that, right? Try to hold it for half a second and let it go down slowly. 2, 3, like that, all right? And what you want to do is you want to make sure that you're not raising your wrist up like this, right? So you're not doing this, all right? You want to make sure your elbows are higher than your wrist, right? So your elbows are always higher than your wrist. You don't want to be doing this, okay? And side view. All right, so same thing. Have your elbows slightly bent. Make sure you're not shrugging up like this, all right? Like that, okay? So that's one exercise for the shoulders. Another exercise for the shoulders is doing shoulder presses, right? So shoulder presses help with joint stability and also works mostly your shoulders as well. So same thing, have the resistance band underneath your feet, right? And same thing, you want to be pressing upwards. 1, 2, 3. You want to come lower, a little bit, slightly lower than 90 degrees, right? Here's 90 degrees, you want to come a little bit lower. Like that, okay? So side view, right? Make sure your chest is up, right? Your wrist is straight. You're not pushing in front of you like this, right? You're pushing right up, like that. All right, so that's the second exercise for the shoulders. A third exercise for the shoulders is simply front raises, all right? So we're gonna be doing motions like this. And that is similar to side raises, where you wanna have your arms slightly bent, right? Shoulders, you wanna have your elbows always above your wrists, right? Same thing, have a resistance band underneath your feet, and you wanna be doing this. Like that, okay? So this will work more of the front and middle shoulders, okay? And working our way down, we can do some work our chest, right? So if you guys can find any anchors to wrap the resistance band around with, that would be good. So, right? And what you want to do is try to sit back. Okay, and simply want to be pushing like this. You want to make sure your elbows are 45 degrees, right? You don't want to make sure you don't want to be pushing out like this, because that's a lot of strain on the shoulders. So try to have that 45 degrees. Push straight out. Have your chest out. 3. Squeeze the chest. 4, 5, like that. Okay. And have it slowly back. Okay. One on the way back. Have it slow and controlled. All right, so that's one exercise for the chest. That mostly works the majority of your chest. Another one we can do is flies, okay? So the first one was this motion, right? You're kind of pushing, right? The second one, you're basically doing kind of like this, okay? So you're kind of squeezing together like this, right? So from the front view, you're opening up like this. As you're opening, your arms are getting more and more bent, and you want to straighten. More and more bent, straighten, right? The first exercise, we're doing pushing like this. Second one, you want to kind of open up like this and squeeze together. okay? One thing to mention is that you can have this anchored, so wherever you're anchoring your resistance band, you can anchor it at any height. So, for example, I was anchoring it around here, right? And this resulted in me in pushing forwards like this. And pushing forwards, you're working most of your middle and lower chest. If you're having your anchor a little bit lower, like for example, with a on the bottom, I'll show you as an example. Maybe tied to like the chair, the leg of a chair. You might be pushing upwards, right? So you might be pushing upwards like this. You can still push forwards like this, but you want to go you'll kind of go against the angle of the resistance band. So you want to be pushing up. And when you're pushing up like this, it works the upper chest. All right, when you're pushing up. And the opposite, if you're having it attached higher, right, the anchor point, and you're pushing down, you're working the lower chest. When you're pushing down like this. All right, same thing with flies. It's the same thing. All right, guys. So. All right, now moving to the opposite muscle, right? The back. For the back, it'll be the same thing. So you can also anchor it anywhere. It's the same type of explanation for it, same as the chest. So you want to be doing rows, right? So I'll grip it a little bit closer because it sounds a little bit easy for me. So you want to be squeezing your back. Like that. All right, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Keep your shoulders locked in and down. All right, so this exercise will work most of your middle back, right? And a little bit of your shoulders as well, the posterior shoulders, all right? So that's one exercise for the back. Another one is, you want to do, it's the same thing as flies, right? So you're doing reverse flies, just like the chest flies movement. So you're opening up like this. So same thing, you want to keep your elbows a little bit bent and really squeeze the muscle. All right? And you guys can do single arm rows as well. So you can simply change it up, all right? Tie it up like that. You guys can grip it with one hand, right? And focus on one side. And as you're turning, if you can, try to turn your head and follow this motion. This will give a better squeeze of your back. All right. So those are two exercises for the back. Working on our arms now. So for the biceps, right? We have two exercises. So the first one, obviously, you can do the bicep curls as I've mentioned from previous videos, right? Have your chest out, go slowly down. And the second one we can do is hammer curls. So hammer curls, the difference is that it'll be working your biceps and also a little bit of your forearms, all right? Giving your forearms some strength. So instead of gripping it like this, you want to be gripping it like this, all right? And if you don't have the handlebars, right, same thing. You can just simply grip it like this, just turn it around like that, right? 1, 2, 3, like that, okay? So those are two exercises for the biceps. And you want to make sure every movement you're doing, right, always slow, controlled. For the triceps, it's best to try to find an anchor that's a little bit higher because you want to be kind of pulling down, right? So if you can find a higher anchor like this, that'd be good. And what you want to do is you can do tricep push downs, right? So pull down. So you kind of go like this. 1, 2, right? You basically want to have this portion of the arm locked in place, not moving, and only your forearms are moving down like that. All right? And you want to squeeze the triceps and have it slowly go up. Make sure your wrist is not completely bent like that, right? you're gonna experience some wrist pain if you're always gonna be doing it like this. Make sure it's always straight, like that. All right, so you guys can do this alternating, one arm at a time, right? You guys can do it both at the same time, or you can do alternating. 1, 2, 3, 4, like that, okay? So that's one exercise for the triceps. Another one you guys can do is, another exercise for the triceps is to do an overhead tricep extension. So basically, you guys can still put it underneath your feet. You might want to use this one's a little bit harder, so you might want to use an easier resistance band. All right, so have it with the other hand like this, right? And what you want to do is basically you want to be extending up like this. 2, 3, right? So as long as we're getting this type of motion, it's good, okay? So, have your arms straight, like that. All right, so that's the second exercise for the triceps. All right, and for our abs, so what you guys can do is also find an anchor again. Try to have it at the same level as, try to have a flat actually, right? And we can do some twists, right? So with twists, what you want to do is, if you guys can, is to grip it with both hands, kind of sit facing the other way, and you want to be, try twist, like that. This will work the abdominals and the obliques a little bit, all right? Even the slightest motion, even if you don't have a large range of motion, even a little bit is good, right? Like that, all right? And for the other side, you'll just change it to the other side, okay? So one thing, what's important with resistance bands is that it's different than using free weights, like dumbbells, because when you're using dumbbells, for example, as a bicep, when you're going down, the only thing that's pulling your weight down is gravity. But if you're using a resistance band, not only is the gravity pulling you down, right? It's also the resistance of the resistance band that's pulling you down as well. So this kind of keeps your muscle in constant tension, right? And not just have gravity let it fall on you, okay? So those are some exercises for your upper body using these open type resistance bands. I'll be using a different type of resistance band for the next video. And thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys are staying home safe, and yeah.